When I bought this company, some customers were paying less than $50 for mosquito treatment. Today, some of those same customers are paying over $129. Here's exactly how we roll these price increases out without losing a bunch of business. If you've been following this acquisition series, you guys pretty much already know the story, right? If you haven't, go back and watch the last two videos. Part one, I showed you what happened after we bought the company and why every single employee ended up leaving. Part two, I showed you how we rebuilt the service by standardizing the program and changing how we deliver it. We basically put all the customers on the same exact program for the entire year. But fixing the service is only half the battle, right? We have to fix the economics of this business. So today I'm gonna show you exactly how we change our pricing, how we roll price increases out, and why it became one of the biggest drivers of growth in the entire turnaround. Hey guys, my name is Jonas Olson. I'm the founder of Pest Badger, and I've been in the service industry for 17 years. Over the past 5 years, we grew a pest control company from one location to 20 locations across multiple states. I use this channel to document how I think about building service businesses and what's actually working for us. I wish my mentors would have documented their journey, so I'm documenting my journey for you. I don't ask you guys this a lot, but if you guys get a lot of value from this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. So let's get into the video. So here's the brutal truth. Underpricing doesn't just cost you a little profit, it literally caps your entire business. When you don't charge enough, there just isn't enough money left over at the end of every service. So where does that show up? I'm gonna draw this thing out as best I can because I think it's easy to understand. But it all starts with low price. Obviously, if you don't charge enough money, there's just not enough margin left over after the service, like I said. I've seen people charging, $60, $70, $80 a quarter, which I'm sure you guys have too. And if you guys are not in the industry watching this, that's just extremely low. But there's just a lot of people out there that are doing it. They think they just started a business, they're gonna beat people by charging a low price. Or they've been in the industry for 30, 40, 50 years and they just never increase the prices. What happens when you don't have enough money, right, is you get a bad hire. Is it really a bad hire, or do you just not have enough money to go pay the really good person? So if I rewind a little bit, if it's just you out there in a truck and you have enough money to pay yourself, sure, that's fair, I get that. But as soon as you go make your first hire, there's gonna be no money left over to pay this person if you're charging those prices, charging $40 mosquito service or $70 a quarter. There's just not enough money left over. So you'll go to hire your next person and you just can't keep a great person because you can't afford to pay that person. I hear it all the time, like, oh, I tried to hire someone that they didn't just work out too well. And then I've tried this a bunch of times and it just doesn't work. So they just have enough money to pay this person on a pay performance model where they can make really good money. And if you pay these people very good money, they're less likely to leave. So when you have not enough money, in my opinion, you just start to get bad service. And this is me drawing a little house with a sad face. But obviously the quality starts to slip because it's not you doing the work anymore. It's a technician that you underpaying. Mistakes happen, of course. You get slow response times because you don't have someone answering the phone, can't afford them. And you just can't have nice equipment. And if you guys notice in your marketplace, the best companies are the ones charging the most money. They have the nicest trucks. They're the best technicians. They have tons of marketing. Obviously, there's the big conglomerates out there that are, billion-dollar companies that just throw lots of marketing out there. But look at the big players in your market. If you look at them, they're charging the most money. They have the best equipment. They look really good. Happy customers, happy technicians. When you don't have all those things, you don't have enough money, people just start to naturally leave when they get bad service. And it all just started back from low pricing, right? And then when customers leave, you just have even less money coming in. So the cycle starts all over again. So the biggest mistake that I see owners make is thinking that, I have a marketing problem or I have a technician problem. But sometimes the biggest problem is just they're simply not charging enough money. Raise your prices, you'd be surprised at how many problems just start to naturally fix themselves. Now let's talk about what you're actually charging. There are only two numbers, in my opinion, that you have to get right. You have your initial service, and you have your reoccurring service. The initial is where you're doing all the heavy lifting. You're doing the inspection of the home, finding where the activity's coming from, you're doing your first treatment, you get the problem under control, and it usually takes you twice as long. But please do not discount the service just to win the job. Price it based on the value that you're providing. Now the reoccurring service, it's a little bit different. All the heavy lifting is done, takes you half the time. And the reoccurring is what builds the business. It's predictable revenue, what to let you hire great people. It's what lets you invest in marketing, it lets you buy new trucks and equipment, and it's what gives you real profit at the end of every single year. And if you ever decide to sell your company one day, it's what people are paying for. The reoccurring is what really builds the relationship with the people. So price the initial for the work and price the reoccurring for the relationship. Hold up, quick pause. If you're on a pest control company or fertilization weed control company, you're not in our Facebook group, you're choosing the harder path. Every operator that's in there is skipping years of mistakes because people are actually sharing what's working right now. So stop trying to brute force your way through growth alone. Search Pest Control Millionaires on Facebook or click the link below. And now let's get back to it. So here's the part that you probably all came for, the price sheet. So for general pest control, this is what we charge for the initial, $199 to $399. And for reoccurring, anywhere from $179 to $250. And for the mosquito, it's anywhere from $89 to $149 plus. Now, before everyone takes screenshots, I want to point something out to you guys. These aren't flat rates. We price everything based on home square footage or lot size. Obviously, bigger homes take more time. Bigger lots take more time and use more product. So I'm only showing you our average pricing across our market. So don't just copy these numbers. Your labor costs are gonna be way different. Your chemical costs are gonna be way different. And your overhead is gonna be way different than mine. What I want you to copy is the process. Every price starts with the cost to deliver the service. Then look at the value you're creating for the customer. Then we make sure there's enough margin left over to build a great business, to actually have some profit, and that we can actually grow this thing. Because if you don't have any profit, there's just no room for marketing, there is no room to grow. But the pricing sheet honestly is the easy part. Building a pricing model that works across different home sizes, lot sizes, labor costs, and markets is the hard part. So the next question I always get is, hey Jonas, if I raise my prices, won't everyone leave? And the short answer is no. Some people will leave, yes. And that's just part of business. But most won't if you built a really good company and you communicate the right way. So here's what we've always done. First thing you guys are gonna do is raise your prices on the new customers first. They don't know what your old prices were, so there's no comparison. And then you start raising prices on your existing customer base. And don't apologize for it. Don't make it sound like you're asking permission, just explain what they're getting. Maybe you invested in better technicians, maybe you upgraded your products, maybe you're offering faster response time, whatever it is, explain the value confidently and tell them what the new rate is. And every company loses a few customers when they raise prices. That's just normal. But please do not let the fear of a few customers keep you from building a healthier business. If you guys want, I'll give you the exact email template that we send out to customers when we're raising the prices. All you guys have to do is just leave your email and I'll send each and every one of you the email template that we use to raise prices. And then people ask me, well, when is the best time to raise prices? But in my opinion, it's not during the spring season because it gives the people time to look for other providers. But if you wait till the middle of season and you start raising the prices then, they're gonna be halfway through the season. They're not gonna wanna have to go find someone else over $5 to $10. So in my opinion, right off the rip of very spring is not the best time. So I would wait till, maybe second, third, fourth service, start raising prices then. Definitely not in the off season though. It'd be middle of season when it's busy, when people are busy. They have less time to think about the $5 to $10 extra dollars, $20, whatever it is, per visit. Now I want to show you guys why this all works. If you've watched the first two videos in the series, you remember that the mosquito company that we bought, some of the customers were paying as little as $50 per service. There is no way to build a great business charging that. So the first thing you do is raise those customers to at least $89 per service. Later, we raised them to $99, and today some of those same customers are paying $129 per service. Every time we raise prices, everyone asks the same exact question. What if everyone leaves? So let's do the math. Let's say that you have 100 customers that are charging $50. That's $5,000 for every round, basically. So let's just say we raise the price from $50 to $89. Now, 20% of the customers dropped off. So you have 80 customers at $89. You're making $7,120 per round. So you're making an additional $2,000 more with 20 less customers. So let's do it again. Let's say we raise the prices again to $99. And now it leaves us with 72 customers at $99. It's $7,128 per round with 72 customers. Again, you have less customers, almost 30 less customers, and you're making more money per round. So let's take it to the next level. Let's say we raise price to $129 and 40 of those customers left. Now you have $7,740 per round with 40 less customers. Now we have room to add 40 more customers at the same price. Let's say we brought in 40 new customers to fill the old gap of the old customers that left, the 40 that left. We can add an additional, so if we have 40 customers times that 129, it's $5,160 per round by adding an additional 40 customers. Now add the $7,740 to that is $11,900 per round with the same exact 100 customers. That's less payroll, that's less fuel, that's less product, that's better service, that's way higher profit. You have way more money to pay your employees the P for P. They can make a lot more money, and when they make a lot more money, the less likely they're gonna go find another job. Now, I'm not telling you to raise everyone's prices overnight. It means don't be afraid to charge what your service is worth. Maybe you just have some people that have been with you for a long time. You gotta start raising those prices on those people. And then replace them with people who are willing to pay more for your service. I want to leave you guys with one last thought. Price is only the conversation when you're selling price. If you're always talking about being the cheapest in town, or you're always offering the initial discount, or if your customers have you price match their last competitor, then price is the only thing customers have to compare to. Instead, sell them the dream, sell them the outcome. You're giving them a home that they don't have to think about. You're protecting their most valuable asset. You're protecting their family. You save them from spending every weekend trying to solve the problem themselves, which you guys have all seen it. They go to big box store and they grab some raid to do with the wasp nest because they're trying to have a cookout in the back. They're taking out the hose, they're spraying down the yeast to get the wasp nest down. They're going to buying products to do with ants. You guys have seen it all. Sell them the dream that they won't have to go solve these problems themselves. When customers understand the value, the price becomes a much smaller part of the conversation. Now, dialing in pricing like this took me years of trial and error. The pricing sheet is one thing. The pricing model behind it is something completely different. If you'd rather plug into a pricing model that's already been proven across 20 plus locations, that's one of the things we hand our Pest Badger franchisees on day one. So there's a link in the description below. See if you'd be a good fit. There's no pressure, just you and I can have a conversation. And again, if this helped, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure to drop a comment below. And like I said before, if you guys want the free price increase email template, make sure to give me your email. I'll give you guys that for free. And as always, see you guys in the next one.